Welcome to the 16th video in this series, making a 2D racer with Unity. In this one, what we're going to do is we're going to make a leaderboard pop up when the race is over so we can see the results. Now for the leaderboard itself in this game, I've gone really for simplicity. It's a kind of retro game, so it fits. And we're actually only going to need two components to represent our leaderboard. One of those is going to be a panel, which we'll put, so a UI panel with a bit of a transparent dark background. And what you can see here with the actual table of the results when the race is over is a single TextMesh Pro label. All it is text with new line characters here. So we go to a new line. And as you'll see when we build this in the code, TextMesh Pro allows you actually to specify spacing along the lines. You do this using what are known as tags, and we can actually create ourselves a table just using one single text label. So nothing complex here. I hope that's okay for you. Let's drop back into the IDE. So back in the Unity UI, I'm going to select the canvas, right click, go to UI canvas and find the panel. Then on the right hand side, click the stretch here, hold down Shift and Alt, and then left click on the bottom right hand corner here just to fill that. Let's double click on the panel as well so we can see it. That's better. So we're going to make this darker and transparent. So I'm going to click the color here and then just drag this slider all the way down so it's really dark, something like this. Choose obviously whatever color you want, and I'll up that a little bit as well, something like this. Okay, then let's have a look at the positioning. So we'll give it a load of padding around the edges, I think. So we'll try 256. This will be a little bit of trial and error, but we'll try 256 and 256, and then for the right 256 and the bottom 256 as well. That's all right, I think, actually. I'm going to take a look at that. Yeah, so our leaderboard will appear on this. Maybe it's a little bit light still, so I'm going to go to color and just bring that up to around 200. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So our leaderboard will appear in here. We could probably make that a little bit clearer by calling the panel leaderboard. And then we can right click on that, go to UI canvas and add a TextMesh Pro. Then down in the new text here, I'm just going to copy that and paste that a little bit and make a few lines of text in here so I can get an idea sort of what the size is going to be. It will be, as I said, a little bit of trial and error to get this all up and correct by the end, but we can have a look at least at this, and that's not quite working, is it? So what we'll do is we'll click here actually, and we'll get this to stretch to the entire parent. There we go. And then let's scroll down a little bit, and if I can close that anyway, and scroll down and let's have a look at the alignments. We'll stay left aligned and we'll go into the middle like this. Okay, the next thing then is the font. I'm going to click on here and go for our bold font. And then the font size here, maybe it can be 48. And then we'll put some padding around this as well. So on the left, we can go 24, on the top 24, on the right 24, on the bottom 24, like that. And as you'll see, what we'll do in the code is we'll use some tags inside the TextMesh Pro to lay everything out as a table. As I said, with a little bit of trial and error. As I'm looking at this actually, we'll do the left 48, maybe the right 48 as well. Then what we can do is we can select our leaderboard on the left-hand side and just disable it at the top right here so we no longer see it. And then we need to add some more information into our actual game logic. Specifically, that's keeping track of the best lap time. So down inside the assets, scripts and race, I'm going to double click on the CarRaceData. And at the top of the CarRaceData, let's add ourselves a constant in here, which is going to be a kind of a default lap time, which we'll set to 999.99f. And then we'll make ourselves a best lap property. So I'm going to take this one from here and paste here and call this best lap. This is going to be of type float, and the default value here can actually be the default lap time, and we have a public getter and a private setter. And then inside the add lap time, we can update our best lap time. So that's going to be equal then to mathf.min, and that will be the current best lap and the lap time. Then let's go over to the race controller, and in the race controller, we can add the best lap time into here as well. Now we're not doing brilliantly for space here actually, are we? So what I'm going to do is make a separate string actually for this. So I'll say string log, and that can be equal to this formatted string here. Then we can do log and plus equals, and then we can say best, and that will then be data dots, and we've got the public access at best lap 0.00 and seconds. Then in the debug.log, we can add our log into here. And before we go back and test this out, let's just open up the UI here and go to the carui.cs. And in the update labels here, let's change this to laps +1 and take away the S off here. So we actually see what the current lap the car is on is. I think that looks a little bit better. And then back in the Unity UI, I've gone ahead and run the game, and I've just paused it actually as Possum has entered their third lap, and I can see clearly that the best laps are updating correctly down the bottom here. So that all looks good to me. Excellent. So I can press stop to close that down, clear the console. In a similar way, now let's set up the total race time. So go back into VS Code. Let's go into our CarRaceData, and we'll add another float property. Again, with a private setter, this can be called total time. And by default, we can set this to the default lap time as well. And then we'll add ourselves a setter method for this as well. So I'm going to get a stub from this, and we'll call this set total time. Then we'll send in a total time, and we can set our total time to be equal to total time. And what we'll do is we'll set this on the car when it's finished the race from the race controller. So let's go to the race controller, and then in the finish race here, we can grab hold of the data. We've got finished equals true, and we can do data.setTotalTime, and that'll be then our race time. Now that will only set the race time for the winning car. The others won't get one, but we're going to deal with that in a later video. For now, I'd just like to get the basics of the leaderboard set up. So what we can do is take our data, and we can do data and total time. So we can make sure that this is working correctly. And also what we could do is put the best lap on here as well, actually. So I'm just looking at what we've done down here. Probably it's best to do a similar thing, actually. So we'll make a new string, and I'll call this log again. It can be equal then to this formatted string here. And then onto there, we can add the best. So I'm just going to get hold of that, paste that here. And then we can debug log. And then back in Unity, I've been ahead and run a race, just 2 laps this time to make it a little bit shorter. And down the console here, I've already seen that we have a winner here, which was Tigger this time in 17.73 seconds with a best of 8.68. So that's working okay. So I'll stop that, clear the console, go back to the project. So now what we need to get this leaderboard to show when the race is over. So let's select the canvas here. On the right hand side, we can go to add component and we'll add a new script. And this can be called, let's call it leaderboard. And then we can save it in asset scripts and UI. Then once Unity is compiled, we can double click on that. Then in VS Code, we can get rid of all of this because we don't need it. And then I'm going to go to the race controller here, be a little bit lazy and just copy the on-enable and on-disable and drop these into the leaderboard here. And here we're looking to connect ourselves up to the RaceOver. So we'll call this then on RaceOver, get this one and paste it in here to disconnect. And we can get rid of this one because we don't need it. Let's generate then the method. What we want to do then is inside here is we want to then activate or enable our leaderboard. First of all, I'm going to move this actually below here. And then we need to serialize a field so we can grab hold of our leaderboard. So that'll be private game object and leaderboard. And actually I'll call that leaderboard panel. So inside the RaceOver then we can get hold of the leaderboard panel and set it active. So let's make sure this is working. We'll go back into Unity. Back in Unity then, we have an empty slot here for the leaderboard panel. So I'm going to get hold of the leaderboard here and just drag and drop that into there. Then let's run the application and see if we get a leaderboard. Okay, so come around to the end of the race and hopefully we see a leaderboard. Yes, we do. We don't have any text or anything, but we do see the panel. Great, cool. So I'll stop that, go to the console, clear that up and back to the project. Now we have all the information we need and also all of the logic we need to be able to show the actual game standings. So let's drop back into VS Code. So inside VS Code, if we go to race and race events, we're emitting this RaceOver and the leaderboard needs to pick this up. And when it does, it needs to be aware of the standings. So what we'll do is we'll send some information in with this then, and we'll send a list of CarRaceData. So as I typed a list there, VS Code automatically added the using at the top here. So if it didn't for you, you'll have some red lines here, but that'll be the reason you need system collections generic for list. And let's add this then actually into the function call. So emit RaceOver, we'll say list CarRaceData and call this our standings. And then we need to send our standings inside the invocation here. So we have other red text at the top here because we've now changed the signature of this. So let's go into the race controller first of all. And where do we have red? Somewhere down here where we're emitting. So we need to build up our standings before we emit the RaceOver. So what we'll do is make a new, and we'll say var standings here. And that's going to be equal to our RaceData.values. Now we need the type of this to be a list, and it won't actually be a list. So what we'll do before this is we'll make then a new list. That can be of CarRaceData, and then in brackets, we can initialize that with these values. Then we can take the standings and put them in the emit RaceOver. Now they're not sorted or anything like that. We're coming to that in a moment. I want to check that this is working first, though, when we see it pop up. So let's go into the leaderboard.cs. Oh, actually, let's not do that. Let's go to the car, in the car core here. Yeah, I thought so. We're connected up to on RaceOver in here as well, aren't we? Now here, we don't actually need the argument, but nevertheless, I'll go back to race controller here and grab this signature here. Then we can go back into car core, drop this in here with an underscore. We're not intending to use it, and then we can add the using at the top. Now let's go back to leaderboard. And here we also want to take in the list for our standings, except this time we will use it, so we'll call it standings. And again, we need to add the using. And then we can build up our text for our text label. For that, we need to serialize it. So we'll serialize private, and we need our TextMesh Pro. So at the top here, I'm going to put using TextMesh Pro, and this will be then TextMesh Pro GUI, and we'll just call this label. And then down inside the RaceOver here, we can build up our text. So we'll start off by making a string called text, and that can be empty. And then we can iterate with a for each loop through all of our standings, except that needs to be standing, not standings. And we'll say our text is plus equal to a formatted string, and this is going to get a bit longer actually with standing. So I'm just going to call this D for data, if that's okay. So we'll say we've got the D dot and car name, then we'll have D dot total time, D dot best lap, and finally D dot completed laps, and put a new line on the end there. And we can set our labels text to be equal to that. And then what we'll do is we'll remove this from here and drop it in at the bottom. So we build the text up and then activate the panel. So I'll save that then. And what should happen now is we should have some semblance of a leaderboard when the race is over. It won't look quite right, but we should have the information on there. So back in the Unity IDE, we now have this label slot on our canvas here. So I'm going to get hold of this one here and drag it into here. And then I'm going to fade out and back in and just go and run the race and see what we get for a leaderboard. Okay, so be ahead and run the race, and we have our leaderboard, and it's looking okay. Maisie won, in my case, in 19.93 seconds at the best lap of 9.8. You'll notice immediately on here that Tigger and Possum don't actually have any total time at all. And that's because, as you've already seen inside the code, we're simply stopping the race dead when the winner crosses the finish line. We're going to deal with all of that in the next video. What I'd like to do to finish this one off is get this sorted and also formatted. And just to re-emphasize the point, the sorting here will simply be by laps completed and total time. It doesn't work perfectly yet. We'll deal with the incremental progress around the track for cars that haven't completed the race in the next video. For now, let's get this formatted and sorted. So I'll stop this. Let's drop back into VS Code. And inside our race controller here, where we've got our standings, what we can do is we can sort these a little bit. So I'll add a sort into here. And the first thing we'll do is we'll compare the laps. We'll make an integer, and I'll call this compare laps. And that can be equal to b dots and then completed laps. And we can compare that to a dot completed laps. So if this is non-zero, then we can return this value. Otherwise, the values are the same, so we've got to compare the total time. So we'll return a dot total time a.compare b.total time. At the moment, that won't work very well, as I've said, because we're not actually doing anything with the total time apart from on the winner. And I have some red here because I'm missing a bracket. It's here. But that should be sorting our standings at least by completed laps. So to test this out, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go into the IDE, make a bit of a longer race and do some different skills. So we've definitely got somebody who'll be a couple of laps down. So I'll be right back after a fade. Okay, so I've been ahead and run a 10-lap race with a low skill, a medium and a high skill. And they've actually finished in order of skill as well, which is always a good sign. And in this case, Possum, which is the high skill one, won it in 88.91 seconds with a best lap of 8.62. You can see the 10 laps completed, then Tigger with 8, and then Maisie with 7 completed. So with that done, what we can do now is turn our attention to formatting this a little bit nicer. So I'll close that down. Let's drop back into VS Code. So let's go into our leaderboard then. And at the top of the leaderboard, we'll serialize some integers, which are going to be basically the column positions. Now we're going to need to do a bit of trial and error to get this right, but we'll have serialize int, and that can be position 1, and we'll do 2 and 3. And let's give those some default values. It's a little bit of a guess to start with, and we can then fine tune it. So I'll do 400, 650, and maybe 900. And we're going to use these values with some tags in our text to shift everything along to basically make a table. So down inside the RaceOver here, we'll set our text initially to a header. So we'll say car. And what we want is we want the next character to start further along to the right. And rather than putting spaces in, what we can do is we can use a tag called pos. So we open up an angle bracket like that, type pos, set that equal to, and then we need a formatted string here. And this will be our first position. So our pos1. Then we can close that and type time. And then we do the same thing for the next one. So I'm going to take all of this and put that here like this, except this case it'll be pos2, and it'll be the best, and then take again the start of that tag and paste it again here. And this one then will be laps, and that will be at pos3. Now we can do the same thing for the actual leaderboard. Let's leave the original one in for a little bit of reference, and we'll put this on multiple lines, I think, otherwise it's going to look a little bit confusing. So we'll do text is plus equal to, and then we'll have a new line plus, then we want a formatted string. And we're doing what we did here. So let's take this, including the time, and drop it in here. Except now, instead of the time here, we've got the D total time and the seconds. Then we do plus, and I'm going to copy and paste this one a couple of times. So the next one will be pos2. The next one will be pos3. Then we've got the D best lap, and we've got the D completed laps. And in this case, it's really up to us what we choose, but we can choose, say, D2. Then we can take the original text here and just remove it. And that should give us a relatively okay looking formatted leaderboard. We might need to play around with the gaps here, but I'm going to jump into Unity now and find out how it looks. Okay, so back in Unity then, I've got to run a race for a couple of laps, and obviously I've made a slight mistake, which I'm sure you spotted in the code, but I've got to put the car name in there. But the actual spacing doesn't look too bad. I'm really surprised at that. I expected to need to fiddle around, but it actually looks all right. It's a bit of a shame with what I did here, so I'm just going to quickly add in the car name. So we can do here d dot and car name. That's a little bit better, so I'm going to verify this once more in Unity. So back in Unity, I've got to run another 2-lap race, and this time we do have the car names. And the leaderboard's actually not looking too bad. It could maybe shift it over very slightly, so a bit more space maybe on the left-hand side. But all in all, I think it looks okay, so I'm not going to do any more fiddling around with it. You obviously can. With that done, though, I think that's a good place to stop this particular video. We've reached another really good point, and we've actually got the entire sort of race sequence complete now. We can run the game, start a race, the race runs, and then when the race is over, we get this nice leaderboard with the total time, the best lap time, and the laps completed. We do have one small issue, which I've already mentioned. Right now, the moment the leader crosses the line, every car freezes, and that's even the cars that are maybe just a couple of corners away from completing the race. That's a little bit harsh. So the next lesson will add in a grace period for other cars also to be able to complete the race. And then we'll also add a partial progress measure as well, so we can more or less sort the leaderboard okay for the cars that haven't finished and are on the same lap. So thanks very much for watching this video. Comments and questions welcome as always on YouTube, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.